What's up, everybody? Wolf of Walmart. Let's talk about one of my favorite pre-spawn fishing tactics, the buzzbait. I love the buzzbait. Now, there's tons of ways to do a buzzbait, and all the buzzbaits I'm about to show you are small American businesses. Some of them are larger American businesses, but they're still American business nonetheless. So let's go through this real quick. I have the Crocagator. Now, this is for that loud time where the water is either really dark or you really just want to annoy some fish. This Crocagator head knocker's got you covered. I got a little Crocagator toad. Comes with it. He's even got a little bee hole back here. You can throw a trailer hook in if you like. Now, second off, if I'm looking for a smaller, more, not necessarily finessey, but more realistic type buzz baiting technique, I'm going to take this blue rock and I'm going to go through with a paddle tail. Now, you can throw a paddle tail on any buzz bait, really. In fact, I like throwing a paddle tail on a buzz bait because it gets bit. It gets bite when other buzzbait techniques won't. I don't know why. I've been throwing a paddle tail for this last year or so. A paddle tail and a pintail have been getting it bit like crazy. I'll get into the pintail in a second. You could choose to throw a pintail on a regular sized buzzbait. Now, again, I like fishing a lot of weed nasty areas. I like long bomb casts. And if I'm throwing a long bomb cast, I'm throwing this Defiant buzzbait. This thing is 3/4 of an ounce. Of course, I threw a toad on there because, I mean, if I'm throwing a big buzzbait, I want a big profile. I got a big blade, I got a big noise, and I got a long way to retrieve it. So chances of this getting bit, super high. Not only in pre-spawn, all year long, but we're just talking about pre-spawn right now. No knock, nice and quiet. Got the little holes in there so the blade spins a little bit faster, just a lot of extra disturbance. This head style right here is nuts. This thing is skippable as heck. So if you like skipping like I like skipping, the Defiant 3/4 ounce buzzbait is the way to go. And yes, I did say 3/4 ounce buzzbait. That thing will sling a mile in the wind. Anyways, so say the big profile ain't working for you. Say the natural profile ain't really working for you. They're just not getting bit. Let's downsize. Don't stop throwing a buzzbait yet. Let's downsize. And if there's one thing that I love about downsized buzzbaits, it's this Jig Master Buzz Grub right here. Yes, I threw a grub on the back just so y'all could see. This was the original technique defined to me, and what I did was I took that and I ran with it, and I have a blast on this buzzbait. It is 3/16 ounce, but it has got the signature Jig Master sled head on there. This thing runs straight, it runs true, and at 3/16 of an ounce, this thing still casts like a bullet. I've thrown it on a bait caster with that small grub on there, and it has flung. Now, the grub tail sometimes is a little bit too much, and the tail gets bit a lot because it is a smaller profile. So what I do is I go ahead and I take the small Jig Masters Buzz Grub Buzzbait. It's a Tackle Talk Jig Masters collab, by the way, just to be in full transparency. And I throw a small pintail on the back of that. This is a Hog Farmer Spunk Shad 3.5, and I'm telling you what, this thing, I accidentally caught a 3-pounder on this thing. I was casting and reeling, hanging out with my mother-in-law. We were fishing, and I was just like, it's done. Like, they were eating spinner baits and stuff like that, but that was really about it. They were just not having it, not having a good time at all. And I got slammed on this thing. And when I pulled that fish out of the water, Andrew can tell you because I sent him the picture, it was not a small fish. So the pintail, never overlooked the pintail, because really, this thing is meant not only for a regular buzzbait, but you can slow roll it to where it's almost a wake bait. And I'm telling you, right about that time where the bubble trail stops and it's just waking a little bit, the pintail gets slammed. That goes for all buzzbaits, but the buzz grub in particular has really gotten smashed because it's that smaller profile, realistic looking action. Now, if you want to go somewhere in between, which I tend to do, this is typically what I throw 90% of the time when I'm throwing a Jig Masters Buzz Grub right here. This is the combo that I like to use. I throw the Jig Masters Buzz Grub with the Exodus Swimmer. Now, the Exodus Swimmer is by a company called Motion Fishing. Go ahead and look him up. Trevor's the man. He's got some plastic. It is awesome. But this right here is what I will actually probably be throwing a lot this weekend. This Buzz Grub with this little tiny action on the tail. That's a fleeing shad all day long. And if you got shaddy water, go ahead and grab yourself some Exodus shads from Motion Fishing. Grab yourself some Jig Masters Buzz Grubs from Jig Master, and you will have a field day come pre-spawn because all they're trying to do is feed up. I'm going to go throw this at docks, and I'm going to go throw this at shade, and I'm going to peel it right across the shade lines. Slammed. It's going to be a blast.